In the open waters of the Atlantic Ocean, there abides a phenomenon difficult to explain. A danger zone that seems to swallow ships and planes. No one has found a satisfactory answer, but somewhere in this region, between the sea and the sky, lurks the solution to the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle.
Blow me to Bermuda!
Welcome to the wonderful world of Wonder Woman. I'm Paul,
I'm Mark.
and tonight we're going to be talking about
Episode 4, The Bermuda Triangle Crisis, which first aired on October 7th of 1977. Directed by Seymour Robbie, whose name, that sounds so familiar. But anyway,
maybe it's Marco's dad.
maybe that could be. Trouble in Paradise. The U.S. proposes a nuclear facility near Wonder Woman's home, Paradise Island. So whose side will she choose? Her new friends or her family?
What's a Wonder Woman to do?
I don't know.
What in blazes? Fire! Fire! Diana!
All right, so of course, as always, we have Linda Carter as Linda Carter as,
Not to be confused with Gabe Kaplan.
yeah, Gabe Kaplan, yes. As Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, Lyle Wagner as Colonel Steve Trevor Jr., Norman Burton as Joe Atkinson, who takes on a significant role this episode, Charles Ciaffi as Raymond Manta, our heavy of the episode. Beatrice Straight returns as Hippolyta, Wonder Woman's mother and Queen of the Amazons. Herman Poppy as the sergeant.
Yeah, he was just listed as the sergeant.
The sergeant. And finally, Larry Golden as Lieutenant Mansfield, a American pilot who gets downed in the Bermuda Triangle and is put on the Wheel of Pain with Conan on the island. But
like so many pilots before him.
Correct.
Somewhere in this region, between the sea and the sky, lurks the solution to the mystery.
This episode is about the weakest one yet. I loved it as a kid, but as an adult, it's kind of just like it's pretty cheap looking, and you can tell that they just put a paint job on the Manta's secret base because that same underground thing has been used in at least one or two other episodes.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the James Bond villain, the Manta.
Yes.
It's like maybe I don't know if I don't know if he reappears later on in the show, but what I liked about Manta is when you got James Bond villains, they're always like suave, cool, sophisticated, and but towards the end, Manta just turns into like a little oh yeah, well I'm gonna set the detonator device. You're never gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny watching him crack a little bit. But this the way it ended so fast, and I won't go into too much about it. But
yeah, we need to talk about that ending near the end of our show.
This is one of those that if they would have had the money, they could have made this a 2-part episode because they could have done more with like the concept of the Bermuda Triangle. They could have went back to Paradise Island with some stuff.
Yeah.
Um, they could have fleshed out the invasion. You know, when the ninjas come down. You know, like in the
Correct.
in the Sean Connery movies.
Yeah.
They could have fleshed that out a little better. Instead, it just kind of, you know, when it first aired, it probably went to commercial, and then they came back and they were back in the headquarters at the IDC.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wasn't as thrilled with this one as I remembered it being. I did appreciate Linda Carter doing her own stunts because the one scene that everybody remembers from this episode, a lot of the underwater stuff or in the pool stuff, which
Yes.
again I think because of the quality of TVs now,
Correct.
we didn't see that so much back then, but you could tell it was a pool. But she did all her swimming, and like her makeup stayed in check, so maybe she was using Maybelline. Overall, this is not one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, I wrote I want to like this, but I don't. That was my synopsis at the end. I want to like it, but I don't.
You described my marriage.
Yeah. Mm. On paper, this should be a fantastic episode.
Yes.
That's the problem. So I agree. I love, as a kid, I love the Bermuda Triangle. I mean, we have the book now finally.
Yes.
And the fact that yes, we do get. I mean, this is definitely a James Bond-esque story. So I like the idea of Raymond Manta, the Manta Ray. I thought that was kind of a neat idea. Although to me, he definitely was, and this is not true back then of the James Bond villains. He lacks the sort of suaveness, or even he lacks the. He's more like Joe Don Baker in Living Daylights.
Yes,
it's like he's the Joe Don Baker type of Bond villain.
He's proto Joe.
Yes, and I just think there was a lot of missed opportunities. So for example. And things were, as you said, resolved too easily. So in the beginning, I like the fact they brought the tiara back. She can rub the star.
Oh
talk to her mother. So she talks to Queen Hippolyta, and to me, it should have made much more out of the fact that you either are going to have to betray your own self and go against the United States, or basically perhaps sacrifice Paradise Island.
Yes,
that should have been
set up.
Yeah, and then
nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Yeah, so it should have been an ongoing crisis for Wonder Woman in the whole episode, and it really wasn't. She pretty much says, "Okay," because Hippolytus basically says, "Well, you can't abandon the people that you're with." So she just, "Okay, fine, then I'll go with Steve, and everything's fine."
Yeah.
It was like resolved in 2 seconds, and so that I thought was a missed opportunity. I don't understand why they're disguised, and they literally use the word, as swingers. Why are they swingers on a private jet flying into the Bermuda Triangle? Made absolutely no sense whatsoever. I think the president's plan was a little odd.
Now, this is the 70s. This is the height of the swinger, lifestyle. I'm positive they knew what they were saying when they were saying that, because
because they got into a whole Joe got all upset that he was, because clearly Diana's not that type of girl.
It isn't like they meant some other type of swinger.
No. Now, one thing I did like a lot, even though I think that the acronym sucks, the ICOPE it doesn't sound menacing enough. It's not Spectre. And so clearly it's Spectre. But the International Confederation of the Power Elite. And so, boy, how little things have changed. So a bunch of rich men being pirates. And it really is, I mean, they stole Spectre's message. He basically says, I play one country against another to blackmail them, get money, and then I sell them the arms for their wars, then I sell them the food when the war is over. And so he's like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And so, which I thought was a much cleaner way of describing what Spectre does. But ICOPE just seems so weird. It just, couldn't have called it something more menacing. I don't know.
ICUP.
Yeah, or something like power. I was trying. I didn't want to. I wanted to watch the episode, but maybe by next week I'll come up with a better acronym for them. Because I do like Power Elite. I do kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it and so convenient they that on this James Bond island, which of course even the Navy starts calling it Icope Harbor. I mean, like the minute it was unknown, now all of a sudden it seems like everybody knows where it's at.
Yes.
Then when they're on the island and they conveniently find the laundry hanging out
Yes.
with the perfect size uniforms and the boots.
And their boots.
God, it's awful. It's just like it just was not. It was kind of slapped together. Like they had a good idea, but and then even it kind of got confusing because what were the weapons? The laser. It wasn't the Stingray, and then the way he described Stingray as the ultimate underwater weapon, it was basically a remote controlled submarine with a nuclear warhead in it, I guess.
Yes.
So just kind of like it just didn't work.
I also thought it was funny that like apparently they just this is how competent ICOPE is.
Yeah.
They just leave crates of depth
Munitions,
charges
yes.
laying around
Yes.
on the deck.
Yeah.
And she just takes one, does a little thing, jumps into the water, and her makeup never runs.
No.
And so it was just that easy to like find a bomb. Say, oh hey, this bomb will work if she jumps into the water.
Right. Yeah, it just didn't. It just wasn't well thought out. It wasn't. The details were all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The main idea was good, but the details were just, and the execution was terrible.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting here going, okay, well, what about the action? Okay, so we get Wonder Woman jumping in a tree to rescue Steve.
Mm-hmm.
We get her jumping around later. They have the whole Jeep chase, which was so anticlimactic. We ran out of gas.
Yeah, we ran out of gas. Can you believe it? Not like a bullet to the radiator, which is always the case.
Yeah, or even with, or there wasn't even tension about the fact she couldn't become Wonder Woman. How will I help Steve and America when I'm in prison with him as Diana Prince? That wasn't even like, it wasn't even thought about as a perhaps plot point. And then we had like the lazy guard falling asleep with the two of them there.
Yeah.
It's just like every cliche they could come up with, they did.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like her costume. I did like the underwater diving costume. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it just could have been so much cooler.
Yeah.
It could have been. It could have been the season one. Split it into 2 episodes. Season 1 cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Put your most money in the episode.
Yeah.
He can be a recurring villain. I mean, clearly this was, I said it was October of 77. So don't know. Spy Who Loved Me was out that year. So of course, guy with underwater Bond villain was the thing, was the villain du jour. But it just, and even the ending when like you said, he's a little boy. And he's wired the entire island to be destroyed.
Yeah,
not just the compound.
Yep.
Not just the weapons, but I've wired the self-destruct the whole island. And so I was expecting a third act because I really wasn't. I thought it was paced well. The show with episodes, it just moved and moved and moved and moved.
Yeah, it does.
So in my head, we had more time. And like you said, they've got the countdown to beat. They've got to rescue the pilot. They've got to they got to convince the guards to turn against ICOPE and flee the island. They got to get on the boat, the Jefferson destroyer, and get off the island before it all explodes, while still making sure Manta doesn't escape.
And either Wonder Woman or Diana has to convince Steve that the other one is okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And that didn't happen.
That nothing happened. It just suddenly stopped, and we're all back in Washington headquarters.
Yeah.
Another missed opportunity is there's clearly a history between Manta and Joe Atkinson. And Joe, Manta keeps saying, well, haven't they put him out to pasture? And he's old school and he needs to retire. And Joe seems to know that too, because in the end, Joe's all like, well, I didn't get to go. And what was your plan? That was not It
Well,
was like an afterthought. They could have had that.
yeah,
They could have built up, Joe's plot with Manta, had more depth to that relationship, and they blew it.
yeah.
Um,
And they also, Steve Trevor was talking about how his dad had some problems in the Bermuda Triangle, and if Manta or IHOP or whatever the name of that
Right.
organization it was behind it, I'm going to have some words with him, and that was never.
Nope, that was never.
There was so much setup,
Yep.
and the payoff was weak, and like I said, it could have been two parts, and it would have been a much better episode.
Right. Or even if Wonder Woman had telegraphed the fact that by sending the sub to the bottom and maybe its nuclear weapon going off way below in a trench, creating that trench is what makes them decide not to build the nuclear plant, which saves Paradise Island. I mean, nothing was explained.
Somewhere in this region, between the sea and the sky, lurks the solution to the mystery.
Yeah, and then you throw in that angle. This is a nuclear power plant bad episode.
Yes.
And it was really glossed over.
Yeah. Like even the fact that, maybe the ease by which the remote controlled submarine is destroyed, that makes them rethink doing nuclear energy out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere where no one is, but it's also where we can't protect it very well.
Somewhere in this region, between the sea and the sky, lurks the solution to the mystery.
I really, really want to like this. And on paper, it sounds great. But man, its execution was bad.
Yeah, it lacked heart.
Yeah.
It lacked the heart that the previous episodes have had, even with their little foibles and flaws here and there. This is the weakest one so far of season 2.
Yeah, I would say so. And it's too bad because it could have been great. I mean, there were weak episodes of Bionic Woman with no matter what you did with the plot, there was no saving some episodes.
Yeah.
But the big shame about this one is it could have been great. It could have been like I said, a 2-episode season finale.
Mm-hmm. Or I don't know if they did mid-season back.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't remember back that far. I think they did. Let us know down below if you remember mid-season breaks.
And if you can't afford it,
it could have been a nice bracket for a mid-season break.
Right. And if you can't afford it, so all right, granted, they can't. They run a low budget. They got their budget slashed. So get rid of the whole Stingray thing and just have it be the laser.
What are they going to do with all that stock footage of that?
I know.
Baking soda.
Yes.
That baking soda submarine or the Korean stock footage.
I know. But I'm just saying, like, keep it. The laser was simple. The laser worked.
Yeah.
It was in the lighthouse. Simple. Not a lot of money. Hold on a second. We have a cat invading us. Get down. It just didn't work. And I felt bad for it. Bad for the episode. It just, I don't know if it was the it was the script too. Script and the directing was just not there.
Yeah.
But and disappointing in that, we were looking forward to the Bermuda Triangle episode.
And that's something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
When we did season 1, we skipped some episodes because they were just bad.
Yeah.
We kind of vowed we weren't going to do that with season 2 since everyone seems to enjoy Wonder Woman so much.
And I think that's very wonderful.
But I came close. But I wanted this episode to be as good as I remembered it because it involved the Bermuda Triangle, which is something that when we were kids fascinated us.
Yep.
In fact, we're toying with an idea later on for another series of videos that may or may not involve the Bermuda Triangle, but more on that later.
Somewhere in this region, between the sea and the sky.
But yeah, I wanted this to be one of those episodes that was as good as I remembered it. Other than Linda Carter's diving suit.
Yeah,
there's not much to remember about this episode.
No, there isn't. And we've been invaded by. Okay. And she's.
Yes. Well.
Now get down.
I think she's trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
Bobby Peru, just like the country.
I mean, let us know. Let us know if you saw it. If maybe we just didn't have the nostalgia bug tonight. Let us know if you thought differently about
Yeah.
this episode. Maybe it just wasn't in the cards for us tonight. So,
Yeah.
but other than that, one next we'll be moving on to
Yes. What's next?
Knockout. So, interesting. Okay.
Can I share it with the rest of us?
Sure. Wonder Woman matches wits with a gorgeous gun-toting terrorist who, guess what he or she does? Kidnap Steve.
No.
No, not
Dun,
kidnapping
dun,
Steve.
dun. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Wonderful World of Wonder Woman. I'm Paul.
I'm Mark.
That's Miss Meow.
Yeah, Miss Meow's joined us. Yep. For this episode, special guest star